On last episode, we crossed an ocean, did some really deep dives, speared some amazing fish, had an incredible cookout over the fire. Now get ready to join me on day 2 for this epic spearfishing adventure. All right, you guys, we weathered the storm. Unfortunately, my chair decided to commit suicide in the fire last night. As the wind was blowing, as this storm was blowing through, it just tipped over into the coals, and Derek woke up to it cooking over the fire. We're packing up, we're trying to beat this tide, and then we're gonna get out there and do some more diving, and I'm gonna take you guys with us, so let's get into it. All right, so I am dropping these guys in first, running the boat, and it's one of my little AP spots, and I know that I've already shot an AP, or I've already shot AP here, so I'm gonna give these guys a shot, and I'm gonna show you what I'm seeing on this reef scope. It's working out really, really well. Yeah, there's fish down there. You can see all the fish right there. Yeah, let me just open this up. Sorry about the lines. Dude, I think they got one. I heard a yoo! All right, I'm gonna switch to their GoPros. We'll see what they're getting into. All right, you guys, welcome underwater and welcome to the voiceovers. Now, this is Ray's camera, and he obviously hopped in the water, saw these African pompano, and from the surface, and just loaded up his spear, made it drop. I think that was Ryan down there at the bottom. He's kind of making a drop to the sand. He has no idea these APs are there, but Ray is in hot pursuit. He probably doesn't even see Ryan, and he's doing a lot of grunting, and they really respond well. Thing came in close, and he landed a really good shot, and I'm actually surprised that it didn't stone him. I haven't really seen a lot of African pompano stoned. I've seen them spined a little bit, but I think they're a really hard fish to actually stone. Now, Ray is in his 60s, and he's never speared an African pompano on pole spear, so he is extremely stoked. And it's really amazing that even though it's a pelagic fish, it's, you know, one of the more difficult fish to spear, even at in his 60s, he's able to keep up and spearfish with his family and friends, and that's one thing that I love about spearfishing. But he is rocking his belt reel. This one doesn't give too much of a fight. Like I said, he made a really good shot, really good holding shot on this fish, so he could yank him up to the surface. And yeah, he's beyond stoked for this African pompano. It's a beautiful fish, and Ryan makes a drop here shortly after we're dealing with this fish, and I'll let you see that footage in just a minute, but we're gonna get him on the boat, stoked to get this as the first fish of the day. Hold him up. Yeah, that's a good one. Hell yeah.
Pole spear.
Hell yeah.
AP, baby.
First one on a pole spear?
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Ray. Hell yeah. Hey. First AP on. Oh yes, dude, he got it on camera.
It's on, isn't it?
It's a miracle. Yeah, dude, he got, yeah, it's on.
All right. Yeah, I got the whole thing on.
Dude, hell yeah. Mr. Van Hook Sr. getting it done. That's so sick. I'm so stoked for him. Wow. That's so awesome. All right, we're gonna get this thing in the boat.
Made a dive, there were spade fish. Came back up, turned around, there were 3 APs behind me. I dove down, they swam away, I started grunting. They came back, they circled me 2 or 3 times while I was grunting, but I just didn't advance toward them. I just stayed calm and kept grunting, and they kept getting closer and closer, and when he got close enough, I nailed him. But awesome, first AP on a pole spear.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. So unfortunately, Ryan didn't have his GoPro rolling, but he also got himself an African pompano. It's swimming around down there, and there's just schools of them patrolling all around us, but we're only allowed 2 per day per person, so that's all we're gonna get for today when it comes to African pompano. Hey, talking trash on the AP spot.
Just because you shot an AP one time at a spot does not make it the AP spot. Jumps in, AP's everywhere. AP everywhere.
Dude, it's almost like I knew what I was doing. That's actually, I was not expecting it to be that good, to be honest.
It was phenomenal.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, Ray shot his first one on pole spear. Yeah, Ryan shot his first one on pole spear. Oh, that's awesome. Justin had his first look.
Whiffed.
Dude, he's pretty bummed. He's pretty bummed.
There's been this joke this entire like trip where last trip with Jack, he put me in on the AP spot, and really it was just like sand so that he could sit on the boat and like leisurely get his gear together. So then this time he's like, oh, you always want to go to the AP? I'm like, no. Keep driving. Jumped in, boom, swarms of APs all over the place.
Now we jump into an area in a different terrain, and once we hit the water, look at these black grouper just greeting us at the edge of this big coral head. Now we're not in a dire rush to pursue them. We know they're gonna rock up somewhere here, and then step 2 is gonna be to find out where they are and try to get one of our pole spear in them.
What do you say? What do you say about this spot?
Big black.
2 of them.
Now we've done multiple dives up to this point. We searched around, and this is one of the dives that we do, and you can hold your breath with me to kind of test your skills. And one of the dive lights I'm rocking is just a kind of cheap one that I got off Mako spear guns. I took it off of my wrist strap, and I'm just using it to kind of poke around, look in these holes, try to figure out where this fish is. And I know he's in here somewhere because whenever I stick my head in, I can hear him. And I think right here I might see his fins, his dorsal fins, but there's no way I could get a spear in this direction. So I checked this other hole on top. There was no way he could. I've done probably maybe 20 dives up to this point, and he just sits back in this deep cave where you can't get a spear in him. But this is the main cave where you can actually see it. You go around the corner here, you look back there, that's the direction he went. And he goes in there and he goes to the complete opposite side of the reef, and we decide to come up with a game plan. Ryan and I finally figure out where this fish is going. He's like shifting back and forth from this hole, and we have a good game plan, and I'll explain it whenever I make this next drop.
It's got a good cave.
So here's one of the dives. I try to get to him from this smaller hole, but like I said, I almost can. I go in here and I go to try to see the dorsal part of his fins. I'm trying to just put a shaft in him to where he might go to an easier hole to extract him from. But as I go in here, he just disappears, and he goes actually back over to that really big deep opening that I showed on that previous clip at the end. And he just goes back and forth, like I said, back and forth from these one side of the cave to the other, and he almost has us beat. But like I said, Ryan and I go to the surface, we come up with a game plan, and this hole that I'm at right now, Brian decides to go there and make a lot of noise and try to push him to the big opening where I'd be able to get a shot. So I'm at the surface, I'm paying attention to Ryan, he's gonna make a drop, and you can hold your breath with me on this one. This is the one when I actually shoot my pole spear. But I'm making sure I have enough surface time, and I have a really good breathe up, make this drop, and I load up my pole spear, have my dive light ready, and as I'm going down, I get ready in this hole, and Ryan is gonna go down and get his spear and kind of make a bunch of noise over in the other hole, trying to push the fish out towards this opening. And it works. He's over there making noise right now, and the fish kind of pops his head out, doesn't want to go towards Ryan, so he pops his head out towards me. I kind of blind him with the light, get just close enough, take my time, land a really good shot, and what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the end of my pole spear. You see how I'm not letting him go? I'm just letting him do his thing, fight, let that slip tip engage, and he's just sitting there fighting. And at this point, I don't want him to go farther back in there because I know what happens. So I just grab my spear and I start shimmying my way out. And at this point, my pole spear is disconnected from my belt reel. So I do something here at the end. I'm inching him away from his hole. He can go crazy as he wants, but once he gets way back in that hole, that's whenever he has the advantage. So I keep him out, and what I do is once I get free, I grab my belt reel, I hold on to my pole spear because I don't want to let it go and let him go back up in that hole, and I just keep tension on my pole spear and keep him out away from his safe haven way back in that hole. And I know we're gonna get another shot on this fish.
Got him right on the edge. Got him right through the face. Yeah. Got him right on the edge here. I'm holding my spear on the edge. I don't want him to go farther back.
Good communication is really important whenever you're in situations like this. I went to the surface, you heard how much I was talking, and just any amount of detail to paint the picture for the other divers is a good thing. So I told him I kind of kept him out of the hole. Justin went down, put another shot in the fish just to secure him, and at this point I actually detached my belt reel after he shoots this fish because I know he has a really good shot. He actually comes up and tells me he's got him in the head. I drop my belt reel and now I prep for another dive just to extract this fish. So here I go. I'm totally detached. I know I'm just gonna go down, get a hold of the fish and pull them out, and we end up getting the Sony in the water, so we have even a better perspective, good third person perspective. You can go ahead and hold your breath on me with me on this dive. Start heading down, and this is the hole I want to extract him from, because Justin said the grouper is right there on the edge. So you see right there, if I would have let him get some of that slack, he would have went way up in there. This would have been an absolute nightmare, and total extraction was my dive, spearing him, Justin's back up, and this is my next dive. So it's not like up and down, up and down. We got this fish, got him in my hands, super excited. And yeah, this fish is so lit up. One of my bigger groupers of the summer, and it's been a while since I had a beautiful, beautiful fish like this. We ended up weighing him, and he was close to, I'd say, about 40 pounds, 35 to 40 pounds.
That one made us work for it.
Fish.
Yeah, dude. Woo! Hell yeah. That's my shot, my first shot right there. Woo! That's sick. Hell yeah. Woo! Hell yeah. That's a beautiful, beautiful. He's all lit up.
Let's see some pictures.
Yeah, dude. That's what we're talking about. Look at that. That's where it came out. I shot him right in the side right here. He was kind of quartering towards me in that cave. Dude, I was deep in there. All right, you guys, these guys have a black rocked up, but that black grouper shredded my pole spear. Ray actually tried to fix it a little bit, but it is all messed up. And once those things are bent, they're bent. You're not gonna be able to straighten them to perfection. Already got them iced down, look at that. That's money.
So we are switching to Justin's viewpoint. That was his GoPro, and he's about to make a dive. They have a black grouper rocked up in this little crack while I'm kind of screwing around on the boat. And Justin goes ahead and makes a dive. Everybody, Derek had a camera in his hand. Ryan, offered him if he wanted to take the shot. So we're only allowed 2 grouper per day. Well, 2 black grouper per day. So this is going to be our final grouper. We were kind of contemplating because we were like, oh, it's not, a monster, but any grouper is better than no grouper. And Justin goes ahead and tries to pinpoint this fish. He sticks his flashlight in there. He saw a hogfish, but he looked past the hogfish to the right and to the left. The grouper was tucked up in there. He took his time because you don't really have to rush these things. There goes the hogfish just shot out. And Justin goes ahead. He doesn't want to rip the thing out. He wants to get his hand on the fish first, which is a really good idea because that way, a little cable slip tip can always tear out of a fish, but once you have a hold of a fish, a really good hold of a fish, they're not slipping out. And you can see how squirmy they are. Even if you have a hold of them, they can still sneak away. And he bear hugs this fish, brings it up to the surface, and secures the final black grouper of the day. We've only shot 1 hog, and I'll roll on Ryan's footage of that right now. Since we're not seeing a ton of hogfish, we're kind of going to go with any ones that we take. They obviously have to be legal once you come stateside, which is 16 inches to the fork. And this one is well over the 16 inches. But at the end of the trip, we didn't really come home with that many hogfish, only a couple. And this is probably one of the biggest ones that we got of the trip. And they all were roughly this size.
I got one a little bigger than this, like 20 minutes ago. And a freaking shark came up and took it while I was taking him off the hook.
So you saw we only shot one hog, and it is one per person per day. We're here 2 days, but we're only allowed 1 day limit once we get stateside. I need a hogfish. I don't have any more injector rods, so I'm gonna switch over to my Hawaiian sling so you guys get a chance to watch 2 different types of primitive hunting. And I'm gonna dive in with that sling. Fingers crossed I get a hog. Now this is my last trip before I do some improvements to this Hawaiian sling. We're diving this deeper reef edge. I saw a big Sierra mackerel way down deep, and you saw me throw my throw flasher. I should have actually made a drop and swam with the flasher before, but I didn't realize how quickly this Sierra would book it to this flasher. He got there, turned away. If I was a second earlier, I probably would have been in perfect time for him to turn, and I would have had a much better shot. But I just grazed the fish, and he went back down. But I do get something on the sling. So I threw my throw flasher. The current was kind of drug us off of that reef. I threw my throw flasher into the sand, just hoping something would come into it. Nothing came in, actually. So I decided to go down. Obviously, I need to retrieve my flasher, and that's usually what I do if things are slow. Like if, you know, there's not a lot of fish around, or you drift off a spot and you're just in sand. There's always a good chance hogfish, mutton, something like that could come in. And that's exactly what happened. I went down, grabbed my throw flasher. It's right there in front of me. I get a hold of it, and as I'm getting a hold of it, I'm grunting. I'm kind of like tapping around, trying to create some disturbance in the water. And sure enough, I look off in the distance. There's a little shark, but when I look to the right, I see a face of a fish coming directly to me, and he's coming directly to the grunting. To the left of that trigger fish, came booking it in, gave me time to prepare, draw back, wait for this mutton to come in. It knew he was coming in hot, landed a really good gill plate shot. And whenever I land these shots, I am a little hesitant because even though it's a, you know, through the gill plate, super solid shot, there is a chance for the barb to close and it slide right out. So I'm making sure I keep a lot of pressure on the fish. I'm heading up to the surface. I'm not horsing him by any means, but I actually do something that benefits here in a second, and you'll see. I leave the fish down. I leave him down there just a little bit. I'm looking around for sharks, don't see any sharks. If a shark came, I would have just hoisted him right up. But I'm letting him hang out down there just a little bit, letting him wear out, and a nice zero comes in, and that's Derek's cue to get him. Unfortunately, the fish came in and kind of left. He didn't get a shot on him. But that is something you guys could definitely learn from, is if you have a fish, there's no sharks around, let them hang out down there a little bit, especially if you have a decent shot, and it could attract another type of predator fish, and who knows, you could possibly land a shot. But you guys, that ends the trip for this one. I didn't have a chance to do an outro, but if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Do me a favor, like this video, and I will see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.